This is our 1984 mobile home that we are bringing back to life, and today I'm going to be working on the water lines. So over the last few days we've been doing a lot of prep work to get ready to run our PEX. We're going to be doing PEX A expansion PEX, and let me show you what we've got and then we'll roll right into the installation. So right here is a closet that I built for our water heater, and I'm going to start at the water heater and work our way towards each fixture. I installed a bracket and these copper stub outs, 3/4 inch copper pipes, and this is going to be for the cold water and the hot water return from the water heater. We have our washing machine hookup. This has PEX A fittings built on, so this will be an easy connection. Those are going to come straight down. In the bathroom we also installed a bracket with 1/2 inch stub outs. I'm using copper for my stub outs because I want them to be sturdy and long lasting, and I want them to look nice. So I've opted to do that instead of coming out of the wall with the PEX. Nothing to see here, but this is going to be our toilet. So we're doing a wall mounted toilet, and we have a toilet carrier that's going in here, so I'm going to run a water line up for that. And the last hookups are going to be back here in the shower. So I have the shower valve installed, got that all done. And the shower valve I did buy with PEX A fittings built onto it, so again, easy hookup. Whenever I'm buying valves and attachments, I always try to buy them in a PEX A because I know I'm going to be doing the expansion PEX, so there's no point in dealing with extra fittings. And a lot of these things you can buy with different fittings on the sides, like shower valves. You can get them copper sweat, solder connections. You can get them threaded. You can get PEX A or PEX B. So make sure you're buying the right shower valve, the right washing machine box for whatever pipe you plan on running. So besides that, just a lot of holes and planning and getting ready. So we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to start with the 3/4 inch PEX coming up to the water heater. I'm going to be holding this upside down. I just want to show you the text here. And it will say on here, Upanor PEX A. PEX A is basically a cold expansion PEX, and I'm going to show you how we can stretch this to fit over the fittings, and that is different than the typical PEX B. I know a lot of you guys already know this, but some people are just coming into it, so I just want to make sure you guys know the difference between the PEX A and the PEX B. You really can't expand PEX B, so don't get the wrong PEX if you're going to be using an expansion tool. Okay, so I got a square end.
You're going to that one?
Yeah. Straighter. Yeah. Let's take the bend right out. Let's just see. We're going to be crisscrossing right along the stream here. So I'll leave a little bit of slack just for some extra bendy. There we go. Alright guys. We're going to put our expansion sleeve on there, and we're going to get it hooked up. And I'll put one of these in here to keep it from rubbing on the wood. Keep it firm, right? Mm-hmm. Let me just straighten this out to get the spring out of it. And now we're going to cross it over and do the same thing. I hope I don't regret going in front of it. Is it not set in the back? So the reason I'm crisscrossing in the wall is because of where the cold water line had to come up. Just has to do with the bracket that I'm using down there. But also it makes more sense because in the water heater closet, the water, when we're looking at it this way, the cold water is on this side, hot water on this side. So picture, cold, hot. But under the house, when it comes over, the cold is on this side, the hot's on this side. They're opposite because they're facing each other. So by switching them, it puts them underneath on the correct side so that when I run them down, the hot and the cold are on the right side to go to this. And I think that's what we're working on next because the water heater closet is done. Stuck halfway.
No.
Okay. Can't even see what I'm doing. I've been working under the house getting all the plumbing done, and I have all the water lines run everywhere down to the last connection hooking this up to the toilet. So I went ahead, got my stop valve installed inside here, and we have an expansion PEX fitting on the top of it. So all I have to do is expand it and stick it on. That was the last connection besides the sink. We're going to wait on the kitchen sink because we're going to be running those water lines a little later after we get the cabinets installed so that we can come up exactly where the sink is going to be. We're doing a unique sink. It's not a typical throw it in the center, it's easy. This one's a little bit different, so you'll have to wait and see how that's going to work out. Otherwise, we can call plumbing done, and you guys can see how easy it was. We got all this done more or less in one day. We had to come back just because I didn't have a couple of things I needed, but a few hours and we did all the plumbing in the house. That's because of tools like this, my DeWalt expander, and doing the Uponor packs. There's other brands, but we used Uponor. Several years ago, I bought this expander, and a lot of people thought it was a waste of money because it cost over $300 for this thing. But I'll tell you, it has paid for itself 3 times now, because we did plumbing. This is our 3rd home doing plumbing, and even one home, it pays for itself. 300 bucks to do the plumbing yourself, that still saves you money, especially when it's so quick and easy and almost foolproof. You don't have to worry about crimping those sleeves, making sure they don't leak, making sure you got them the right tightness. This is just so much easier for me. Now that the plumbing is done, we got to start a new project, right? Now, to be honest, I don't know what's next, because technically we need to start insulation. I might switch around a little and do some different jobs coming up, just odd jobs, little things, doing whatever we can to work within our means and try to get this done properly. But we are there. I mean, we're at finishing stage, so this is huge. Plumbing done. I'm going to take you guys around, do a little tour as I neaten up all the plumbing lines, do the final touches. I'll show you under the house what I did under there. I treated this plumbing job as a traditional plumbing system instead of a home run based system. So a lot of people, when they install PEX, they like to do something called home runs, where they have a manifold, a central manifold, which is basically just a chunk that the main water line comes into, and then all the water lines branch off from it. And you'll have a water line going to the toilet, to the sink, to the whatever, you know? And they all go to where they go. So that's the manifold home run system, where all the water lines run individually from a main source. But I did it more traditional, like you would see with the older systems, copper and such, where I just ran it like water lines. I put the cold water and the hot water down, and I just ran them, and I branched off wherever I needed it. There's no home runs, it's just branches, and they both work equally as well. The home run system just uses more pipe. The way I did it uses more fittings. Doesn't really need this, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Just to hold them clipped. So let me do a quick tour and show you guys the water lines that we got installed, starting here at the bathroom. And I probably will put some foam on these. They're not going to really need it once we seal up the bottom of the house, but just to keep them from rubbing together. This is the toilet going over to the sink. Cold water line, hot water line. So there's toilet and sink. And they're passing right through to here. Now this is going to be going over to the kitchen sink, hot and cold. All right, so we don't have those yet, so we're just leaving them like this. But this is our main run going down, and these are 3/4 inch lines. So these lines carry on, and we tee off right here to come through to the shower. So that's the hot and cold for the shower, popping up through the floor there. And right past the shower, we have them going straight up through the floor. That is the laundry. So hot and cold for the washer, hot and cold for the shower. And then from the washing machine, it just runs straight down all the way over to here. And this right here is where the water will come in. So I have a T right here going up to the water heater. That's the cold water. And coming down here to this connection, which is where I'm going to put the new water inlet from the well to the house. And the hot water line just has a little 90-degree elbow to come out to feed the system. So pretty simple, pretty clean. It's honestly pretty difficult crawling around down here underneath these metal chassis points, so I hope you were able to understand what I did here. I kept it as simple as I could. There is some slack in the system. There's some excess pipe, so it's not as tight as it could be because the pipe is expanded right now. It's warm, the pipe is hot. PEX does expand and contract. So when winter comes and it gets cold, if the water in these pipes gets cold, this is gonna shrink a little bit. So we don't wanna make our system too tight because then when it shrinks, it's gonna be pulling on all the joints and it could be causing problems. We don't want any problems, any excess rubbing, any tension on the line. So I hope I got a good balance here. If you're doing a really long run of PEX, sometimes it's good to put a loop in it to act as an expansion joint so that you don't have a straight run and it can't shrink without pulling. So hopefully that makes sense. But this is pretty short. It looks long, but it's pretty short. Yeah, I probably should have put a loop. Anyway, we got good room. And you'll notice that even here, like it swoops. That swoop helps because it's not a dead straight run. It gives room for it to bend, to contract, to pull. So, well guys, there's another project complete. We can say plumbing is done as it can be until the kitchen is done. And that got us thinking that maybe we should start working on that a little bit more. So I think we're going to be working toward that. Stay tuned for some kitchen updates. That's all we have for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.